The gold market is likely to continue its upward trend. It won't just stop here. And how I have been managing it both as an investor and a trader for the gold. I hope this tutorial it will be helpful for two groups of people. Number one are those who already have some position and would like to know how to accumulate more. And number two are those who do not yet have a position but are considering getting in and trading it. Though you may be worried about entering at a peak as gold continue to reach new high. I am Kon Hao. My work in this channel is to study behavior science and finance, discover correlation between different markets, and uncover potential opportunities. And before we get into today's tutorial, please take some time to read into the disclaimer. First, let's get some fundamental understanding why gold is likely to continue this upward trend. And let me pull this out here. Because I believe that on this working backwards that we can see here, instead of looking at why gold is moving up, let's understand about the US debt. Because I believe that US debt will continue to rise and that will lead to a weakening of the US dollars. And let's take a look at what happened to US dollars. Is US dollars really that strong over the years? It really depends on what market you're looking at, what you're comparing with. If I'm going to compare to the dollar Swiss, and you can see that since the 70s until today, at one point it was exceeding 4 US dollars. Today is about 80 plus cents. It also means that the US dollars over the past decades has been depreciating by 4 times. And you gotta tell me about why is this so. Let's look at what happened working backwards strategy about to understand why gold keep on moving up. First is US debts, which I think will continue to move up because US dollar weakness, and because of the dollar weakness, gold will be a hedge against the US dollar's decline. My first position in gold, it was in 2014. It was about here. Then I solely based on these fundamentals. And let's look at what happened here in 2014. That was the point where I believe that the US debt will continue to rise. And until today, even today, I believe that the next many years to come, the US debt will continue to rise. So as long as I believe that US debt is going to continue to rise, working backwards, and I believe that the dollar will continue to weaken, and then there will be a gold demand. So now, having this macro view, it is not just important for investor, it is also very helpful to traders. I will explain to you very shortly why. And let's look at this monthly chart with this 3-point trend line I've drawn. For example, that when it retraced here in 2022, I will make reference to the fundamental if this still stands, that the US debt, I believe, will continue to rise. That will lead to dollar weakness and there will be gold demand. And I will accumulate more. And especially in 2024, at retrace again, I will check on this working backwards strategy, this 3-point. Is US debt is going to continue to rise, so on and so forth, before I decided to average up on my investment on the gold. And how to draw this 3-point trend line, which I consider them as a standard for trend line. You can refer to my past videos on the rules on how to construct them and its application to all the time frame. Let me just explain with the monthly. I'm going to drill down the weekly, daily, and then I'm going to move into the 180 minutes chart, especially those are trading the gold. But for the investor, this is what I do. First, identify a significant low and try to connect the dots together. So I try to identify all these primary trend line, secondary trend line. Now, bear in mind that all this line, it will be the support. If it break below, and this will be the resistance. The next support, it will be there. Now, of course, when we are starting on the monthly chart, we have to be mindful. These are very long term. I will look at all this fundamental. You can apply this 3-point trend line in any time frame. Now I'm going to drill into the weekly chart down here. As I drill in the weekly chart, that you got to start to form an opinion or studies on where to identify the 3 points. So I draw this dotted line on the weekly chart, and I draw this dotted line, and this will become the support. But if it break below, this will be a resistance, and the support will be here. And I continue to drill down. You could see that what I'm trying to demonstrate to you here is that it can be applied to any time frame. And this will be a daily chart. I draw this as a bold trend line that there's some break here, false break, but it continued to move up. And now I'm going to move on to the 3 hours chart, especially great for traders. And let me just go over to 3 hours chart, and I'm going to explain to you how I construct this that you can see here. Again, it will be a same application in whatever time frame. Now, many of my friends will ask me this question: how important is for traders to know the market's macro trend when they are trading, because they are looking at minutes chart? Now, to me, it is all about math and probability. So we have to understand that once the trend is set in motion with all these trend lines, they will become the support and resistance that I explained to you earlier. Now, let me just bring you through on this 180 minutes chart here. Is that I found one support low here, and I found two really sharp there, and these are the third support. It kind of break below. Now, whenever we look at this support here on this 180 minutes chart, and again, you can use it on the monthly chart, weekly chart, daily chart, depending on the profile of investor or traders you're in. Now, all these, when it retraces, you do not place a bid just to buy it blindly. Look out for this trend line as a standard trend line through this 3-point trend line theory that I've explained. And you look for the reaction. Now, I could see that when it kind of a waver in and out here, at this point, I could see that there was a hammer, and then it pushed up. So to me, it is reactive. And I will engage a position here with, of course, if you're trading into minutes chart, I would strongly encourage you to put risk management. Of course, I'm referring to stop loss, and you wait for that trend to come. So the risk is very measured, but the potential skill on the upside is tremendous. It makes sense to go with the flow with this uptrend, again, regardless of any time frame, and not against it. Means that when you identify as an uptrend, we do our best to go with the flow. So can we go against the flow? Yes, definitely, but make sure that we know that we're going against the flow. We keep it really short term. It means that if you short here, we know that we go against the flow. We keep it for just a few days because we are analyzing it from a 180 minutes chart. And I would prefer in this flow, which is uptrend, not just on the 180 minutes chart, but the monthly as well. The flow is there. I would prefer to keep my focus, my energy to buy on dips instead. So going with the flow of the main trend, the beauty is if the market perform after the entry, for example, like here, I can choose to cash out anytime, or maybe because of my understanding on the fundamental, I can choose to hold or add on more position in the future. For those who do not have a position but are considering getting in and trading it, I hope this tutorial is helpful in managing your risk and maybe your fear in getting into gold at this level, at this highest point right now. I will include my past videos relating to gold at the description below. We cannot perfectly time the market, but it is possible to get the market timing right. The market are always telling us on their next move. Stay tuned for my coming tutorial. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Join us in our weekly case study and discussion. Click on my profile icon or description below to find out more. Feel free to leave any comments below. I love to exchange ideas with you on what is about to come. Really happy that you stayed through this tutorial. You have many great trading weeks ahead.